Hi, I'm Eric Dewey.
And this is Steve O'Mooney.
And I'm Matthew Renfro.
And we're Socially Awkward. You're listening to another great production on the Four-Eyed Radio Network. Check out more shows at foureyedradio.com.
Last time on the Warpod.
I purchased all the outstanding shares of Warlock's Entertainment. Combined with the Class A shares from J. Free and Captain J, I now own a controlling 51% of Warlock's Entertainment system.
I think that we kind of overreacted when we heard that Edge of Blade bought us out.
We should, I guess, apologize for that overreaction.
Yeah, we are sorry about that, and we wanted to include a, what do you call them? Those newfangled things. A voicemail that Edge actually sent us earlier today.
Okay, so first things first. You've read through your envelopes, and I'd like to enact a few of the rules that we put into those envelopes. Jonny, you said this would be a PG-13 podcast, so I'm going to hold you to that. You have one fucking episode, and if you break that rule, I'm afraid there will be consequences.
Radical! Yeah.
Superman!
I said fuck again.
You got it. Beautiful.
Shitball.
Before we begin, Johnny Dim would like to read a statement from Edge of Blade.
Well. Oh, okay. I haven't read this yet, so. To whom it may concern, dear sir or madam, in light of previous events, specifically the actions of one Johnny Dim during the most recent installment of the Warpod, wherein he elected to willfully undermine the established one F-bomb rule, I have decided to afford Zach Nanimus the privilege of the shut-up button. Once during this podcast, Zach may use this button to quiet Johnny Dim for a period of 2 minutes. From the desk of Edge of Blade. So something about the Razor's Edge Entertainment Enterprise.
Razor's Edge Entertainment Enterprise Unlimited Continuity Expection Team.
Yeah. So
today we'll be using the shut up button for when Johnny's gotta shut up. America! I'm Zach Nanimus.
I'm Johnny Dim.
And you've tuned in to yet another installment of the Warpod, brought to you in part by the Four-Eyed Radio Network, the Houston Nerdcasting Collective, and the BS Network Station.
Radio. For winners.
Yep. Here on the Warpod, we like to digress, transpose, eliminate, and proselytize all of the latest and greatest news from around the internet.
And apparently silence.
What?
You're silencing me. That's something we do now.
That was a little meta.
It was.
Give me the list. 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 Give me the list.
The list of things we're talking about?
Yeah.
That's not a real thing.
All you had to do was hand me a piece of paper.
Oh, is that really what you wanted?
Yes. What did you think I wanted?
I thought you wanted to pull up the list on the computer.
God, no.
Given we live in a digital age.
Tonight, we are going to talk about Batman and his stupid butt. The possibility of a Sonic live-action/animation movie, the release of FF9, and the live-action Zelda series to be coming to Netflix. Johnny, where would you like to get started?
Deadpool?
I don't want to talk about Deadpool.
Why not?
It's old news.
We just saw it today.
Yeah, saw it. Past tense.
So we can only talk about it while we're watching it.
Yeah, and you really missed the boat on that one.
Oh. Can we talk about it anyway?
You really want to lead with Deadpool? I think people might be interested in that.
Okay, fine. Sonic.
The Sonic thing's probably not going to happen, so it's not really news.
Okay, Legend of Zelda.
That's definitely not going to happen, Nintendo.
What was some other stuff you said? Batman's butt.
Batman's butt! Yes, I do want to talk about Batman and his stupid butt. So, I know we talk about this a lot, but it's near and dear to our hearts.
Yes, it is. Batman's butt is really near and dear to our hearts.
No, this big Batman versus Superman Dawn collision. Mm-hmm. Soundgarden. What's the movie called?
Dawn
Liquid Soap.
Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice.
It needs a third subtitle. It really does.
It does. Yeah, to round it up and off.
Returns.
Yes.
There we go. Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Fight to the Death, Returns 3.
Turtles in Time.
A new promo is up for it. They have a brand spanking new trailer. My brother Jeremy showed it to me the day after it came out, and then we actually just saw it in the theater because we just went to go see the new Deadpool movie. And everybody's really excited. Mm-hmm. It's been the best trailer so far.
Yes.
I will say the part that I was happy to see was I was happy to see Wonder Woman in action instead of just getting blown up a bunch, which has been every other promo. And you can tell that the action in this really has some of that Zack Snyder polish. Mm-hmm. You know, with the action sequences that everybody really liked from 300 and stuff like that. Call them hackney if you want to right now. Nonetheless, it was a phenomenon at the time. People still like that movie. So, the reason that we wound up talking about this is because I actually have a pretty big critique, and it's Johnny's favorite thing about it.
No, okay. Yeah, I guess it's probably safe to say it's my favorite thing about the trailer is that you actually finally get to see Batman beat up some goons. In this case, they look like professional SWAT team people, but that's probably not what they are.
I'm close.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, so you actually see near the beginning, Alfred is assisting Mr. Batman in planning a quick assault.
Which, by the way, he sounded really good. I was afraid that Jeremy Irons was basically going to do Scar in this movie. But he sounded like a very proper, I am the British butler, sir. Would you like me to drop you off at the cozy station?
No, it sounded
good.
Yeah, the second floor, please. So anyway, in this one, you actually see the assault on whatever these people are. And Batman's beating up the guys like he always does. The guys with the guns, he's beating them with his fists and stuff. And you see some cool moves. I remember there was a takedown. I think it was the first takedown he does. I thought it was pretty cool. But there was some contention between the two of us about that particular scene because you said something about Batman
being nonsense. The whole thing.
Yeah, which I don't disagree. I mean, Batman's always done martial arts in a nonsense way.
No, the nonsense comes from the fact that they didn't even address why nobody wanted to use their guns.
Right.
They gave no airs as to why these people who were carrying assault rifles at the beginning of the scene, suddenly, it wasn't that they weren't shooting them, they stopped having them.
Well, he's in close.
Amazing to me.
He's up close fighting us, so we have to go to melee weapons now. I guess I don't know, but the thing is, it always seems like to be when Batman's fighting opponents like this, large group of people with guns. It's always the guns. If they go off in a motion like this. Oh no! And they start shooting at the ceiling.
And
that's always how it goes off. Batman, I can't remember. Has he been shot yet in the movies? Any movie he's been in?
You mean any of the Christopher Nolan ones?
No, any of them.
He was shot in the first one.
The 89?
The first Michael Keaton one, yeah.
I thought so. If there was one, he got shot once.
Twice.
Well, Bruce Wayne got shot. Are you counting one of those?
No. So
Okay.
He got shot 3 times.
Yeah.
He got shot twice in the first scene.
Right.
And then the Joker shot him later.
It seems like ever since then, Batman just doesn't get shot.
Yeah. Well, okay, let me think.
I'm trying to think of Batman Returns, but I don't think he ever got shot in that.
In the animated series, he had a ninja pal who wanted to kill him, and his ninja pal knew the touch of death. And,
right there in the solar plexus.
Yeah, and when he used it on him, it turns out that Batman had reinforced the suit, but there was a pretty good divot in metal.
With fingers, yeah.
I'm going to count that.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair. So, yeah, I don't know. You guys can correct us if we're wrong, but I can't remember very many instances where he actually gets shot. Gets shot at a lot, but he doesn't get shot very much at all.
But, that's kind of the thing about Batman in a lot of iterations, the best iterations, where guns are used against him, they explain how Batman neutralizes that element.
Right.
The worst example by far, possibly ever, has got to be in the third Christopher Nolan movie, Batman 3, I think it's called. I don't know.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, there's a guy, and he's trying to shoot Batman, and he's in a very poorly lit tunnel, and so the muzzle flash is the only lighting we get of the scene. So it's actually a strobing light as we see Batman go to the left slightly, and then to the right slightly.
That's how you dodge
and then
bullets.
Suddenly in his face.
Yes.
Yes. Bat to the left, bat to the right, bat down the middle, bat out of sight! That's for the Rocky Horror fans.
I appreciate that. I'm sure they do too.
But no, I found this to be... They were impressive moves that Ben Affleck's stunt double was doing in this scene. But they never bothered to explain why no one wanted to shoot Batman.
Now, it's a trailer, so maybe there is a reason that makes sense.
Yeah,
Probably
they could have clipped it together so it was an all-around larger scene.
Right.
Because this doesn't look like the scene... Well, this might be the scene where he first meets Superman. But if this is the scene where he first meets Superman, they're kind of setting up Batman to be kind of dumb in this movie. Because he jumps into the middle of people with AK-47s, and Superman is capable of surprising him, and just a lot of BS. Unless it was all part of the plan.
You know what? I'm okay with that, though.
Just with Batman being dumb?
Yeah.
So are you also okay with, say, the Flash being slow, or Superman not being very strong, or Aquaman being afraid of swimming, or needing nose plugs?
Yes, I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with it because they're I'm not saying that because he wasn't. He was not dumb at all in the Dark Knight Returns, the comic book, which is where they're obviously, we've mentioned this many times on this podcast, where they're taking the inspiration of this particular Batman. But he is the Bruiser. He's still intelligent in that comic book, and I still think he's going to be intelligent in this movie.
He was the Bruiser in that comic book.
But he was smart sometimes.
Yeah.
But a lot of just the fighting he did was just like, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. I still get to say fuck. I didn't say the K.
No one does.
Okay.
That's the American lexicon for you.
Oh. Does that mean I'm getting another punishment?
Yeah.
Oh, God. But I still get to say it once, though, right? Oh, God.
Keep going with your Batman story. I don't know what it's about.
Well, no, I was just saying that I like that file I like that file we have on Batman. I like that style. Man, I can't talk. Style.
Uh-huh.
I like that style, that fighting style, for Batman specifically. I always remember back when I think about that version of Batman, which is my favorite Batman, the fight he does in that comic book, The Dark Knight Returns, with the mutant, the King of the Mutants.
Yes.
Which was awesome. It was just the best.
Well, that was the really cold, calculated Batman. He couldn't be the Bruiser there. That was kind of the point of that.
Well, he was still the Bruiser. He was just the way he put it. I can't remember the exact line. And
it's like, this isn't a mud pit. This is an operating room.
And I'm the surgeon or something like that. Yeah, which was amazing. I loved it. But yeah, he's the best Batman, the best version of Batman.
Him just being the unstoppable Bruiser in that particular book, and I guess movie now. I haven't seen the movie. I've only read it.
What movie?
The Dark Knight Returns.
Like an animated movie?
Yeah, there's an animated movie.
I think I knew that. I haven't seen it either.
With Michael Ironsides.
I haven't seen it either.
No, they use the whirly bat to get up to some place, and I can't remember exactly what's going on. But he's just got this kid by the scruff of his shirt, and he's not beating. I think he's hit him a couple of times, but he starts to like empty out his pockets, and he's like, "Cigarettes, no wonder you're slow." You know? And then he's got like a pill pod. He's like, "You're full of bad habits." Just BAM! He didn't even care. He's just standing in the middle of bad guys because he's the unstoppable Batman.
Yep.
And no, it is fun, but once again, this didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
There was something that I liked about Batman in this thing. I can't remember what. Oh, right, the big punch.
The big punch.
Yeah. Whereas Superman, he's throwing his first haymaker at Batman.
Oh, yeah.
And blocks him, and Superman's just like, ew.
Yeah.
He went earnest.
Yeah.
Rest his soul.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're big Ernest fans on the show. Actually, we never really talked about Ernest. You want to talk about Ernest real quick?
I don't.
No?
We can bring that up in another show.
Now, my brother thinks that every time I say it's my brother, it sounds like a family affair. Jeremy, the guy from the other show.
You know, the co-host.
Yeah.
So eventually, me and Jeremy are gonna have like a fight to the death, right? And you stay on what show is the winner.
I don't care.
Okay.
No, he thinks that at this point Bruce must be using kryptonite in order to have depowered him significantly enough.
That's the easy way to do it.
Yeah, I think what's more likely is they're going to be like, oh, he made such a strong robot that we can forget about how strong he was in the previous movie. Almost certain. Can almost promise that that's what's going on.
Yeah.
Because, well, you know, we actually don't know what kryptonite will do to him in this iteration.
I have a question. Are you more excited about Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice,
No.
Extreme 3, or Captain America Civil War?
Oh, I'm way more excited about Civil War.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw someone ask that on a Facebook group that I'm a member of, and it was the majority said the same thing you said.
Cool. Yeah, because it's going to be a much better movie.
Well, I don't know.
Spider-Man's going to be in it. And I've watched some crappy movies with Spider-Man. Namely, most of them. But
the division of people and how they're excited about that movie more than The Dark Knight Returns, or Batman vs. Superman. God damn it, what's wrong with me?
No, go ahead and keep calling it what it is.
Okay.
The Dark Knight Returns.
The Dark Knight Returns.
With Aquaman and friends.
With Aquaman and friends. So the whole thing is like, it bothers me a little bit for some reason that's so lopsided in that way, because I think the movie's starting to look good given the trailers we've seen recently, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know, this movie's getting shit on more than it deserves and it hasn't come out yet. And I think also, after thinking about it, because I saw an article that said Suicide Squad is actually doing damage to that movie. And I think that there's...
Why? Because it's going to be so much cooler?
I think that's part of it. And there's a sex appeal to that movie. And I don't mean like actual sex appeal, but I mean there is an X factor to that movie. It looks cooler. It's bad guys, you know? And I think we're finally seeing...
There's much bigger stars.
True.
Yeah.
And more of them.
Yeah.
But I think we're seeing more of the issue, like we're seeing more of this, like what people have feared for the longest time. I think there might be too many superhero movies in 2016.
No, there's too many DC movies. That's the only problem we're having here so far.
Well, Deadpool,
dude. If we could, okay. No, I was gonna say bring in more Dark Horse movies, but we had Star Wars. Did Spawn get bought?
It may have changed hands, but there have been rumors that it might come.
You still think of it as a Dark Horse comic,
yes? Just
like you think of Superman as a DC comic when he's actually an action comic.
Who?
Superman.
Yeah. He started as an action comic.
Which actually, action comics are back. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, well, it's all DC. They own all of them.
Are they just rebranding it as action comics?
Yeah.
That might be a good move.
Well, they have like Superman comes out with like, I think somewhere in the ballpark of 15 to 20 magazines per month that are Superman related in some respect. And I think that some of them are action comics, and some of them are DC.
Okay,
so they never went back to Detective Comics that I'm aware of.
They should have.
Yeah. But yeah, I could definitely, I could understand where. No, actually, I would expect there to be a pretty clear synergy between Suicide Squad and Batman: Dawn of Justice, League of America, World Police.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in seeing one, you should be interested in seeing the other.
Should.
You know, especially with Jared Leto playing the Joker and Aquaman.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. What's Aquaman's real name?
Steve Jones.
No, it's something like Jared Leto.
Oh, the actor?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I just know that I know who he played in Game of Thrones.
Did you play the Mountain?
No. He played one of the Horse Lord. The Lord of the Horse Lords.
He played the Horse Lord?
Yeah.
That's dumb. I don't watch that show.
It's a great show. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, is there any evidence to back up what they said about Suicide Squad messing with Dawn of Justice? Or is it just a cockamamie fan theory? Where'd you read this?
I don't remember.
Okay.
You know, I'm very credible when I say stuff, and I usually have sources and that kind of thing.
Let me pass this back to you. What are you more excited about, Dawn of Justice or the Civil War?
I think I'm excited about them both equally. Because I've been very excited ever since they announced they were doing the Civil War. Very excited. Mm-hmm. But I've had similar feelings about both these movies. I always told people when Batman vs Superman was announced, I was nervous and excited at the same time.
Nervous and titillated.
Yeah, nervous and excited because I really fear that they're going to mess it up. Same thing with Civil War. When they started, more stuff came out about that. It's like they're not going to be as many heroes in it as there should be, or at least that there were in the comics.
Oh, I knew they were going to mess it up from the beginning. They still are, but it's going to be the superior movie.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
But I do want to watch both of them. I'm excited about both of them.
I'll wind up watching both of them, probably specifically for this show.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm going to have to do that for Knights of Win. Or we could do a team-up, because...
I'd love to do a team-up.
Because you're really excited about Dawn of Justice, and Jeremy's very excited about Dawn of Justice. So we could do a team-up for that one.
Right, where we team up on you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay, the thing is that Jeremy, he wants to see this for the same reason that if they scheduled a train wreck, you'd go see it.
He's excited about it, but he's excited to see the catastrophe.
If it's a good movie, he'll admit it, and he'll be pleasantly surprised.
Right.
Because he does genuinely love Batman and Superman.
And I love Batman and Aquaman. That's not true.
I really do like Aquaman. Okay, well, let's bet this for a second. What's wrong with Aquaman?
He just got the short end of the stick for a long time because people made fun of him for not having, as visually at least impressive powers.
What, like super strength?
Well, everybody has super strength underwater.
That is crazy not true. What do you think your punching power is underwater? Because
slow.
His can devastate a submarine.
No, that's impressive.
He has access to magic, aquakinesis. He's got an army of mermen.
Look, okay, most adventures don't happen underwater. So.
They don't have to, because his mermen can come on land just like him. And you know what? He's got Aqualad. Aqualad's got fire magic, ice magic. He can make a dolphin.
I'm not arguing anything with you. I'm just telling you that he had the unfortunate what's the word I'm looking for?
Aquakinesis.
No.
Gingivitis anesis. Gingivitis anesis would be pretty bad. Somebody asked me if I could control one element, what would I pick? I picked hydrogen. Mm-hmm. I think it's a pretty good one to be able to control.
Aquaman had the unfortunate reputation, whether it's right or wrong. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Here's why Aquaman's great. There's actually a litany of reasons. First, the costume. The costume is like the classic one with the golden chest and the black pants and the green underoos. Because of the color variation in him, you actually get to, he looks more like he's wearing pants. I said this on Knights of Win. You saw it, remember, Jonny? Remember? And so he's the one who looks like the least strange. He looks like he's wearing, more like traditional clothes, and of course he's got the fish scales going on, which all feeds into it. Lots of iterations of him have him with, I don't know if it's an innate ability that they give him sometimes in the comic books, or if he's manipulating magic, but they give him aquakinesis. And aquakinesis is an incredible ability, especially in the hands of his ward, Aqualad, probably the best sidekick ever. And the thing about Aquaman is that his charm goes beyond notoriety. It actually has a little bit to do with his obscurity. Because he is admittedly an underdog, he's not a Batman, he's not a Superman, it's actually made his collectibles some of the best and most sought after. I know that Jonny has I think 3 first print books and 5 figurines. The reason that he doesn't show you any of this is because he wants to push the popular narrative. It's a little behind the curtain thing. The popular narrative of him enjoying all things that are mainstream, and me being a little bit more offbeat. It's just he lies for you. But he's a big Aquaman fan at heart. And I think the reason that I'm saying all this to you is I want you, the viewers, to no longer be afraid of your Aqua love. Aquanet. Don't be afraid to be in the Aquanet, America, is what I'm trying to say. Now, Johnny, I think it's time to talk about Deadpool.
Excellent. That sounds fantastic.
Deadpool! Deadpool! We saw Deadpool today, ladies and gentlemen.
We did.
We saw Deadpool. Overall, underwhelming. But I don't want to get into it. I took the lead in the last one. Johnny, why don't you tell us how you felt about Deadpool?
It sucked.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah,
let's talk about Final Fantasy IX. Are we going to do spoilers?
Yeah, spoil the shit out of it.
No,
What, Deadpool?
yeah.
Yeah, spoil the shit out of it.
Yeah, okay, so go see Deadpool, or if you don't care, honestly, there's nothing... I said this from the beginning. Deadpool is a difficult movie to spoil, because the entertainment value of Deadpool has everything to do with Deadpool. Just watching him do his thing is just fun.
He does the thing really well.
Yeah, and the plot is something that every Deadpool fan has heard. Slight modifications, but all of them really are good little patches on the overarching Deadpool story.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, let's jump into this beast.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Yes.
Your favorite thing about this movie?
It's unapologetically rated R, and it's unapologetically Deadpool. I think that's what I like about it most. I've never been a Deadpool fan. In fact, I told you straight up that I think this whole breaking the fourth wall thing is just blasphemous and stupid, and I hate it.
You do a show where you look into the camera most of the time and address an audience that's not in this room.
Right, but that's not the same.
I feel like it is. I feel like
we're not a comic book. We're not a superhero movie. Look, I'm not going to argue this. What I'm telling you is I don't like it. I don't think Deadpool necessarily shouldn't exist. It's just not for me. But the thing is, and I appreciate this movie for being unapologetic in all those ways that I said, because I like when things are unapologetic, because it's nice, it's awesome. It's not making any consolations for anybody. It's going out and being what it is, and it's doing it right. It's being true mostly to what people know Deadpool as. True Deadpool fans who have been fans for a long time, like you can nitpick, I'm sure, at a couple things in the movie. But, I mean, some people will find fault somewhere.
Oh, well, people are going to be saying stuff like, oh, it wasn't exactly the way it is in the comic book. But that's the nature of movies. And let's be honest, him being given Wolverine's power is like the plot hole of the Marvel world.
Right.
Because in this movie, they cleaned it up to where he had a latent mutant ability. He was screened specifically for that latent mutant ability. And there was a process that brought it out in him. And it just so happened to be a regenerative factor that is not like Wolverine's. It is much, much slower. Mm-hmm. This did two things. It made it gave some tension to scenes, because often with Deadpool you never worry about anything, because he'll be fine. But the thing is, Deadpool could obviously lose. It took him an entire afternoon to grow back part of a hand in the movie,
right. So
he has to be careful. And he has to be skillful in what he does. The second thing is made the audience not ask, if you can just give out Wolverine's ability, why don't you just give out Wolverine's ability? Mm-hmm. You know?
Right.
Because nobody talks about that. Why not just give it to everyone?
Right.
So yeah, the little changes like that were appropriate.
Yeah, and I didn't know what the differences were because I don't read his comics. But the movie was definitely entertaining from someone who's been not so much a Deadpool fan. The movie was great. It was funny. It was gory, and it had plenty of sex, which are things that I love. And I love rated R. I want to see more rated R superheroes. I've said that many times.
It didn't have that much sex.
It had enough.
It had full frontal nudity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was great. I loved it, and let's bring on some more rated R superheroes.
Yeah, namely Superman, Kid Flash, Jim and the Holograms, Pocahontas.
Pocahontas.
Rated R, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
Oh, but the second movie, where she marries John Ralph.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Actually, they have I think they have one that's either PG-13 or rated R. If not, it's pretty damn close to R. It was a live-action Pocahontas movie that I had as I was growing up as a kid. My parents didn't think it would be that bad because it was a Pocahontas movie, and the Disney movie had already come out. So
it was porn, wasn't it?
No.
It was Poke Your Honkus.
That should be made, but no, it was not. It was just very brutal. The white men got slaughtered sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why your parents didn't like it, because white people got slaughtered.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. No, I think the thing that really sold me on this movie, because there are things that I don't like about this movie. But what really sold me on it is there was a surprising amount of heart to this movie.
Yeah, there was.
When people talk about it being a love... Well, not people, Deadpool specifically has told us that it's a love story. He's not altogether wrong.
No, it was more of one than I thought it would be.
Yeah, and there are lots of serious moments. But this is actually something that I got... I got into an argument on Reddit with a guy about this because I was bashing on the Superman movie for being too brooding. And I said that superheroes can have fun in stressful situations. Because real people have fun in stressful situations. Yeah.
And sometimes they get punished for it.
Yeah, and...
Like Mr. Affleck Duck.
What?
The guy who voiced the Affleck Duck. He got fired from being that dude because he made a joke about 9/11 too early.
Oh, okay. What's that guy?
I should know his name. It's the guy who yells.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, that's it. Gilbert Gottfried.
But no, people aren't one-dimensional in stressful situations. You know, they have fun, or they crack jokes in order to relieve tension and stuff like that. Or sometimes the stuff that just comes out of their mouths is unintentionally funny because it's not all scripted. And Deadpool really feels that way in a lot of ways. And in a lot of ways, this movie is about a cartoon character with samurai swords, you know, breaking his fist on the metal-like genitals of a fellow mutant.
Yes. Yes.
And you have that dichotomy, which recently I've seen a bit, not a lot, a bit of backlash with Deadpool fans about how he is just this over-the-top cartoon character and doesn't really ring true to previous deeper iterations from earlier comic books. Mm-hmm. And this movie hits a pretty good mix. In fact, the only thing that I really dislike about this movie is that there's not enough locations.
Sure.
That's a really weird criticism for me to have about a movie, but we kept going back, and it's a very famous scene because it was the first tech demo for Deadpool was him fighting in an overpass, and that was like 4 years ago, and it was totally CG. I hope you really enjoyed that because it's half the movie.
It is a big chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
And actually, I wondered that to myself when they finally left the overpass. I was like, I wonder how far into the movie we are. And it was about half.
Yeah.
It was about half.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, that is interwoven with the obligatory origin tale.
Right.
But, I mean, I appreciated the origin tale, but I did come here to watch a red clown with Uzis, you know, shoot people. And that happened. I think he needed...
He didn't shoot that many people, though.
No, he didn't.
Because anytime he was supposed to have like guns, he'd forget them somewhere or something. But no, here's the other thing. Now that begs the question for me, because they have confirmed more than once that there is going to be a second movie.
Yeah, the movie confirmed it for you. They talk about it.
Right, yeah, but I also heard it before the movie came out. And I find it interesting. I'm really curious to see what that movie would look like without flashbacks. Like a straight, timeline that goes straight through.
It won't, because it's going to have Cable in it. So they'll be able to look into other timelines.
Oh boy!
Yeah, he'll be having flashbacks of Deadpools he never was.
Damn it! But that does sound like a lot of fun, though.
But honestly, I did breathe a sigh of relief when Deadpool finally looked to the camera. He's like, "There you go, all caught up," and I was like, "Okay, no more flashbacks. I don't have to question what's happening now.
You don't have to worry about it."
Yeah,
yeah.
I also really like that, once again, they, compared to the current iteration, compared to the most recognizable iteration of Deadpool, which is not the current one, I believe, because I think he's depowered right now. He's pretty weak when compared to other versions of Deadpool, where he can just grow back limbs instantaneously, and he has a teleporting device and the magic satchel and stuff like that. Overall, he really has to be on the ball about him being an assassin and being good at martial arts and shooting people when he needs to, which once again added tension. Mm-hmm. There's only really one scene where he was just this unstoppable juggernaut, and after that, it was fine. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, he's you feel like he's beatable in a lot of the movie. He is frail to an extent because being shot, although it hurts him, and he can't heal it back, it can slow him down. It can definitely slow him down.
Oh, yeah.
And it does.
They even talked about brain damage in the movie. At one point, he gets brain damage.
Yes.
And he has to heal from it. And you see everything from his perspective, including the way he hears the soundtrack to the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just fun. I don't know what to say about it. Deadpool needed one more action sequence to round it out, but so the only criticism that I have of this movie is that there wasn't more of it.
Right. Which you were kind of getting your wish anyway, because there's going to be a second one. So
true.
Yeah.
Really want the current James Bond, Daniel Craig, to play Cable.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that is the perfect fit, because Cable's really supposed to be joyless. Because everything that character does is, I have to save the Macroverse because Scott Summers' daughter is gonna take a crap in her pants. She's still a baby, and that crap will be a butterfly effect that will destroy the cosmos. And it's always something like that.
Some other names I think that would make sense for Cable, you threw out like Dolph Lundgren. I thought would be funny, but I think the dialogue would be better if it was. John Bautista.
Yeah. Okay, the other thing about Cable is that he's stately.
Yeah.
You don't really get that out of John Bautista, or at least you don't expect it,
Yeah, but I think he could be made up to be that way, because we've seen him in a suit.
Well, he probably could. I'm not...
in fact, he was actually full circle. He was actually in the last James Bond movie.
Right. He was also in the last Marvel movie.
Correct.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, so he's already a Guardian of the Galaxy.
That's okay. They'll never meet.
They can meet.
They won't.
I hope so. I hope they do.
I hope they don't.
I hope that Deadpool gets a venereal disease, and it's a bad case of the Groot.
And I need Drax the Destroyer to get rid of it. Of course. To destroy the Groot.
Actually, that'd be a really good meta joke, because the pills that he take could be called Drax. And he gets them on an infomercial, so John Bautista's just on the front.
That's funny. That's funny.
But no, the overall size of John Bautista makes a lot of sense, but I don't know much about his acting range.
They don't make him say very much in the movies he's in.
Yeah.
Drax didn't say much, neither did the bad guy in when he played the bad guy in the James Bond movie.
I still haven't seen Spectre.
It's good. It's worth seeing.
It's bearable.
It just didn't feel right, but it's worth seeing, especially if you're a James Bond fan.
But yeah, go see Deadpool, Ark of the Covenant, Revenge of Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
But don't take our word for it. Rotten Tomatoes gives it an 84%.
Screw those guys.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up next on the list, Sonic takes the lead.
Oh, God.
Bling, 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 bling. That's your soundbite, and you're going to have Sonic coming across the screen, and he's going to pick up rings along the way.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So bling, 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 bling.
I was really hoping that because since Edge of Blade bought the podcast, I was really hoping that I wouldn't be editing stuff anymore. But no, I'm still slaving away at doing that stuff.
Yeah, you're just not credited for it.
Right. Thanks a lot, Edge.
That actually all that money is funneled into a limited liability corporation off the coast of Canada.
Why?
Oh, he just wanted to say that he had a place off the coast of northern Canada.
Yeah, you don't hear that very often.
Except for Santa Claus, who is the most powerful mutant in the Marvel Universe, BTW. Did we talk about that last time? I feel like we did.
No.
Oh, well, he is. That's true. Sonic. So there's been a little bit of buzz, not really credible, vaguely credible sources have been talking about the possibility of a live-action movie. Who has been talking about this? I know it's been talked about. So, Hajime Sotami, which I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I guess Hajime is also a name. I know it's a Japanese word meaning begin. But he's one of the big wigs over at Sonic. They said that they're working with Sony. One of the big wigs at Sonic. Let's be fair. That's what Sega is. It's the Sonic company.
They don't have big wigs because they're not big enough.
No, they have a powder.
Look, Sega sucks.
Powder wigs.
They lost the battle against Nintendo.
Nintendo lost the battle against Nintendo.
Most recently, yes.
No one can win that fight.
No. It was an interview with World Folio that he disclosed it.
Right, that they're working with Sony Pictures to develop a live-action slash animation Sonic movie. So
like the Smurfs.
Like the Smurfs. That is the first thing I thought about. And honestly, the color only just occurred to me now.
Yeah.
The fact that it'll be blue animated things next to normal people. And I really hope that they get Neil Patrick Harris again, honestly.
That's the only way they'll go over 2 million tickets sold.
Yeah, they want to make a Sonic movie where Sonic by necessity will be some visitor.
You know what? This sounds absolutely appropriate. I'll explain.
Sure.
I'll explain.
Go ahead.
To me, as just a person that plays video games and watches movies...
You have no idea what you look like right now, do you?
A little bit.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
I know I really frazzled it up for you. So if you're watching this on YouTube, which you should be... No, I'm kidding. It doesn't matter to me.
No.
But anyway, I got my hair all crazy. Like I said, as a player of video games and a watcher of movies, this interests me not at all. I do not want to see this happen. I think it'd be bad for both video games and movies. But what I do know is that there is this trend that I've noticed, especially with the more hipster-oriented gamers, that there's this big thing with Sonic where they have a lot of like fan art. It's always really goofy, and people they make memes out of this stuff.
Oh, that's not a hipster thing.
No, it's not a really.
That's an independent art thing.
Yeah. Either way, it's not a thing I'm into, but which is why I call it a hipster thing. Anything I'm not into is a hipster thing.
Okay.
Anyway, so
you're not into Real Hipster Army?
No, those guys are great.
Good save there, bro.
No, they're great. They're great. We've discussed this before. I think their name is a little silly, but those guys are awesome. They do a good show. The thing is that I think this fits in. I think would give them that whatever that niche is, that Sonic fan art niche.
Nietzsche.
Nishai. I'm trying to pronounce it.
Nishai.
Nishai. My wife. the whole point I was getting to is that I think it gives them a lot of ammunition for just doing a bunch of the crazy shit that they already do, right? It's like anybody who wants to make fun of these Sonic things, it gives them one more thing. So, good for you guys.
Oh, I thought you meant it's giving the fan artists more animation, more source material.
They're getting
that out of Zootopia, let's be honest. Because they put some real effort into making sure that Officer Hops looks really cute.
Yeah.
She looks really cute.
She does.
With her big eyes.
Yes, she
and
does.
Her fuzzy tail.
I think this is going in a direction I did not intend.
Nevertheless.
All right.
So you're excited because you want people to be able to make fun of Sonic fan artists more.
Correct.
Okay. I like Sonic. And I like movies like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Page Master to a lesser degree, things like that, where there's been a blend of animation and cinematography, but they always take some time to explain themselves. And unless Sonic is going to come out of the video game world in order to suspend our disbelief, which they really can't do since we just had Wreck-It Ralph and Pixels, this is going to be a train wreck.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I'll go on the record as saying this. I cannot think of a single movie, an instance where they've done this animation hybrid type of movie, live action type of hybrid movie. I've never seen one of those movies where I enjoyed it.
You didn't like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, I did.
I'm talking about the 2014 one.
I can't remember.
Michael Bay Turtles?
Oh, yeah, that's CGI, though. That's different.
This will, too, be CGI.
Yeah, but yeah, I understand what you're saying, but this is like on purpose doing like cartoon animation, where it's like you said, Who Framed Roger Rabbit or Page Master, whatever that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
never been a fan of that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
So wait, you didn't like Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Makes me feel very scared.
You're insane.
No, I cannot.
That is one of the best movies
watch that movie
of the 20th century.
I've heard that. I cannot watch that movie.
Oh, so you haven't seen it?
I have seen it.
How much of it?
I think I've seen the whole thing as a kid. It's horrifying. It is the most unsettling. It's more unsettling than Muppets.
I don't know what's wrong with you. I really can't explain that. You just described Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
it's more horrifying than
the adult movie that kids got to see because it had Disney characters in it and redefined exactly what kids would be able to take, opening the door for more advanced children's media that didn't what's the word? It's a P word. Not plagiarize. Didn't talk down to kids.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Patronize?
Patronize. And you're saying that it's only a little more horrifying than the most beloved puppet show of all time.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to show you an example of why I find it so horrifying. This right here. Because you bring something like a cartoon that's supposed to be a cartoon, and you bring it into the real world, it is completely unsettling. It is the definition of what do they call that? The canyon,
the uncanny valley.
The uncanny valley. That's exactly what it is. So what I'm showing Zach now, you can look this up, is Heidi Klum's 20.
Just put it up on the
20. I will. I'll put it up. You guys can see it on the YouTube. Heidi Klum's 2015 Halloween costume. She actually did. What's her name? Jessica Rabbit. And she did went to this whole transformation where her Halloween costume was as her, and it looks proportionately like her exaggerated eyelids, her ridiculous hair. All of her assets are exactly like per the movie, and it's one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen.
She looks fine.
No, it looks awful.
She just has exaggerated features.
Yeah, it looks like someone had way too much plastic surgery and then had twice as much.
Some people just have exaggerated features, Johnny. Some people just have large eyes and big lips and high cheekbones. Some people just look that way.
Okay.
And you're saying that you're afraid of them?
Well, I don't believe you, for one.
The way they were born?
This is absolutely horrifying.
You're insane.
No.
Nevertheless, the thing is that Sonic fans know that this is going to be a big misstep because of a game that came out 10 years ago exactly now. And that was simply called Sonic the Hedgehog, but has since become known as Sonic 06. And it had very realistic human characters alongside Sonic. Sometimes Sonic made out with those characters.
Really?
Yeah. This game got out there, and everybody knows how bad that game was. You know, it's a game that I haven't played. I will say that, but I have seen that cutscene, and you know, if you're going to mix the physical world with the cartoon hedgehog world, there are kind of specific ways that you need to do it without it seeming silly, and it doesn't seem like this is the right timing for anything that I can think of that would make this good.
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
Basically, he's got to come out of the video game universe for anything about this to make sense.
Now, I would like to segue that into... There is another character that's going to be brought to a screen. They're making a show out of Legend of Zelda.
Ba 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 da 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 ba 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 la da da ba ba la da ba la wa ha boo ba do ja ba do ba do ja ba do be do.
Hey, listen. So yes, there's going to be what is in works right now, which still can be canceled. It's still tentative.
Because it's still Nintendo.
It's still Nintendo. And the last time they let anybody have rights to one of their things didn't turn out that great.
It's never ever.
Mario. Super Mario.
Huh?
Super Mario.
No, it's never turned out.
Oh, never turned out.
Anytime anyone other than Nintendo has handled their product, it has been a huge misstep.
Right. Well, this is going straight to Netflix, and all the... Now, okay. Here's the thing. This is what is in talks right now. They're talking about making a series for Netflix that is going to be Legend of Zelda. This sounds promising to me, and because Netflix has a very good track record. I have not seen an original programming from Netflix I didn't at least like a little bit.
I haven't seen all the kids stuff. They've got children's shows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's some children's shows that I really like. A lot of it's crap.
Right.
Gravity Falls, for example. But you know, I haven't seen any of the oversaturated CG schlock that must be out there and is Netflix's fault. I will say that. We haven't seen it all. I'll say that.
Right. So for the bad stuff that you do make, Netflix, that we know you make, shame on you. Because apparently you make something bad. I haven't seen it.
Every confidence that everything you do is stupid.
Yeah.
Except for Jessica! Jessica Jones.
Sorry. Jay Free's name is Jessica, and we've been yelling at her because of that. We've been quoting Clown Shoes. What's his name?
Clown Shoes? Oh, Magnus Clown Shoes. That's his name, boyo. David Tennant, a.k.a. Chester Kilgrave, a.k.a. the Purple Man.
Kilgrave. It was Kilgrave was what I was trying to think of, and I thought it would come to me before I got Clown Shoes out.
But it never does. When it comes to you and the word Clown Shoes, that's a losing battle, buddy.
Probably because I wanted to say Clown Shoes so much. Yeah, so that's a thing. Oh, man.
Very embarrassing when you're ordering sushi. Yes, I'll have the dragon clown shoes. Don't look at me. Don't you look at me.
Sorry. Anyway, we were talking about Legend of Zelda possibly coming to Netflix.
Yes, they do. They do some good stuff.
They do.
Yeah, they do some good stuff.
Yeah.
What gives you so much confidence about this?
Well, like I said before, Netflix. But also, there's a level of excitement that comes along with that. There's a hopeful optimism, cautious optimism, excited optimism, all the different optimisms that comes along with this because it's Legend of Zelda. And there was an April Fool's joke where these people put out a trailer for a live action Legend of Zelda movie, And although that obviously had its faults, but it looked promising to a degree.
Was that the Balloon Shop guys?
It could have been. I really don't remember.
Okay.
But anyway, I think there's some leftover excitement for that I got tricked into being excited about. And because of that, I still am super excited about seeing this. And I'm not a big Zelda fan, but seeing that on the big screen, it's a good story, that they could be putting on there. The character itself is cherished.
The characters are good.
Yes.
The story
is pretty
standard.
It's pretty standard, yeah. But anyway, it's exciting to me. I don't know how you feel about it.
I don't know. Because Zelda has had kind of this stigma. Every time they've had Link speak, every time they've given him a voice actor, it's been a problem. Either it's associated with a horrible game, or the acting and script itself. In the case of the original Legend of Zelda cartoon from the 80s,
that was horrible.
Yeah.
Well, question. You can clarify this for me. Mm-hmm. They had him speak in a video game that wasn't just grunts and noises like that?
Yes.
What game was that?
That was the Philips CDI. The Philips CDI Zelda games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he has full voice acting.
Yeah.
So, perennially, Link has been a silent protagonist. Now, they have a lot of this with characters like Yoshi, who can't talk. Mario, they don't give him a lot of voice acting at all, but they do give it to him.
Yes, they do.
They give it to him hard and fast.
It's usually sound bites.
They gave it to him a lot in
go-karts. Oh, they didn't talk in Mario RPG, though, did they?
No, actually, he was specifically silent in that one. He didn't even have speech bubbles.
Oh, interesting.
But in Mario Sunshine, he spoke.
Oh.
Yeah, in Mario Sunshine, he had lines. But just Link has been a character that perennially doesn't speak. So, having a silent protagonist for this is on the table. How would you feel about that?
If he didn't talk?
Yeah, if he never said anything. Because you're not a big Zelda fan.
Right.
So you don't have this big expectation of Link never saying anything. In Zelda games, it's almost a joke at this point. Because people talk to him all the time, and he doesn't even have speech bubbles.
Yeah, I think that it's actually a legitimate concern, because even as someone who's just as casually, paid attention to those games, it would feel weird to hear him talk, because everyone has their own vision of what he would sound like.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah,
that's why he is a silent protagonist.
Yeah, he's supposed. Yeah, and he can represent you more or less in the game. And what also comes to mind is also there was an episode of Seinfeld where George he listened to an audiobook, and he was doing that because he was tired of hearing his own voice in his head while he was reading books. And when he finally listened to an audiobook, it sounded exactly like his voice, and he was pissed.
Okay.
Yeah. That just reminds me of that. Because I think we'd have a similar thing. Like, everyone expects it to be a certain voice, but then they finally hear it, they're going to be disappointed. I think is what's going to happen. So I don't know. I would love them. I would love for them to try, because I think there is a right voice.
Try what?
To give him a voice.
Oh, the thing is that they're definitely going to.
Right.
Me saying it's on the table is a bit of a projection of my own. I'm sure there's lots of fans who echo the idea that he shouldn't be speaking in this.
I think the best play would be to have him speak just very few words.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the best way to go.
No, they're going to give him like a...
He's going to have like a monologue?
He's going to be a character not unlike... not saying that they're definitely connected because they're both Netflix, but not unlike Daredevil. Troubled past, unlikely hero, overcoming adversity, and he's going to be, I lost all of the village people,
and all the rupees.
Yeah, and now all I have is the power of the gods on my side. Woohoo! Now I have to go be the best hero and have money for no reason.
Oh, this guy's just going to give me a sword. I didn't need to pay for it.
Yeah. No, it's going to be one of those things in an attempt to make him deep. And he's going to have a lot of backstory rather than developing him through the course of the series, because he's got to get to the dungeon quickly because he's only going to have 12 episodes in the first season. And that stuff.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, well, you know, games happen over the course of 40 to 60 hours, you know, and you just can't do that in a show.
Yeah.
And
half that in a Zelda game is stupid puzzles, which you're not going to have in the TV show.
I really hope they do. I hope that Link is a cerebral character. He figures things out with his mind.
I hope they do a puzzle sequence, but it's a montage, and he does them all in, like, 2 minutes.
Oh, no! God, no! No, it needs to...
That would be awesome, especially if it's a hard rock montage. Straight out of the 80s.
No, it needs to be it needs to be structured like a good episode of Star Trek or Doctor Who, where you get the problem early on, and you're fed clues along the way, and about in the third act, assuming these are hour-long episodes, in the third act, you should have all the pieces, and you should be confident to make your own guesses, so you kind of play along at home. Because, you know, Zelda fans are very cerebral. We keep going back to these games because we want to test our mettle against puzzles.
I also want there to be, like, before he goes and fights Ganon or Ganondorf, whatever they call him. I want there to be like a Rocky training montage where he's running around along the beach and Navi's flying next to him, coaching him on, and he's just like, I got a strategy, Adrian.
Hey, maybe I'll fight again, and maybe I won't.
That's it. That's the voice he needs.
He needs Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles impersonating Sly Stallone.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I got this. His sword.
Yo, it's a rupee. You can go down to Philly's, get a Philly cheesesteak. You know? Go check out the Liberty Bell and the set of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It needs to be set in Philly.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god.
Yes. Everybody would watch that. That's how you break the controversy about the voice. You just make it stupid and ridiculous, and it's funny, and nobody gives a shit.
You just cast Charlie Day.
Yes. Yes. Game over, Netflix.
Yeah, I guess you can just send the check whenever you're ready, since we made all this money for you with our great ideas.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll see you next time, America. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Bang, bang.